We are live. Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Ask the Nanny. And the first thing I want to say is Happy Nanny Recognition Week. Yes, we made it. Okay, and this is one of my favorite nanny shirts. It says, A nanny's love is made of sugar, spice, and everything nice. I got this from Aileen Matherin from My Nanny Circle. So I think her company's called Nanny Apparel. So if you want one of these, I got it at Nanny Palooza. That's where I got it from. But if you want one, get one. Nanny Apparel. Check with Aileen Matherin over in My Nanny Circle Facebook group. I'm sure she has some for sale. Okay, so now that I got all that out of the way, guess what? Ask the Nanny has turned 3. And I'm giving away birthday gifts. Yes, usually the birthday person receives gifts, but me. I'm different. I'm giving away birthday gifts. So let me tell you, if I come up in your DM or your PM box and say, "Can I get your address, please?" I have something special for you. So I'm just saying, be on the lookout. Hello, Lucretia. Hello, Adrian. Hi, Nat. How are you? And hi, Meeches. How are you? Okay, so my special guest tonight is Crystal Trowbridge.
Hello,
She
everyone.
is here to talk to us about child nutrition. Now, this is not going to be a class. It's going to be a refresher. We're not going deep down in there. She's going to give us some tips about eating, the picky eater, family style eating, relationships with foods, all that good stuff. But first, I'm going to let her introduce herself to you while I share this on Facebook to my groups. And if you're watching, please share it to your groups too. You have the floor, Miss Crystal.
All right. Hello, everyone. First off, like she mentioned, I am Crystal Trowbridge and also the founder of Nanny Uprise. I have been a family assistant and nutritionist for quite some time now, and I have my bachelor's in nutrition. I have had a wonderful relationship with food for a long time. I get very creative with the kids. And I thought I would share a little fun fact about where I start with the children with the food. The first thing I start with is teaching them how to cook noodles. The first thing I do is teach them how it's done. Now, how do we do that? Is I teach them how to throw the pasta against the wall. The thing is, exactly, fun fact is that because I want to really work on the relationship with food and make it fun, now I bring everyone into the kitchen, and the way it's done is if it sticks to the wall. A noodle is done if it sticks. So a little fun fact is my dad was a firefighter, and he became very playful with food. So that's how I learned. Now, to get the children and the family all working together is how we do it. We start with throwing pasta against the wall to see if it's done. So that's where we begin.
All right. Now, when I think of food, I have a great relationship with food because my grandmother taught me how to cook. And because she taught me how to cook, I got to eat it. And I got to see how it was made. And it was like, okay, now and I learned how to cook. We call eyeballing it. Instead of using the measuring cup, like, that looks like enough.
Right.
A little bit more. Okay. No, not so much. Okay. Don't go heavy on that. Okay. Now get your little pinch of salt, put it in there. It was like pinches and scoops and she didn't use measuring spoons or cups or anything. She just kind of grabbed some a little bit more. Yes. So that's how I learned how to cook. So now it's hard sometimes because I'm like, okay, when I start cooking on Tuesdays and Thursdays live, I'm like, okay, everybody doesn't cook like you. You're gonna need some measurements. I'm like, so, but
Right.
I think of that song. What's the name of that song? I can't even think of the name of it now. Um,
I can never remember songs, so I won't be able to help.
anyway, anyway, it's a song about food, food, glorious food. That's what it's called. That food is glorious to me, but
Mm-hmm.
not all kids have such a relationship with food.
Right.
And as nannies, uh, it becomes difficult. So that's why we came to you, so you can help
Mm-hmm.
us get
Yeah.
that child out of that rut of I
Mm-hmm.
hate food and I don't want to eat that
Mm-hmm.
and I don't like that.
Nope.
So here
Yep.
we
So the first thing I usually do, honestly, is work with a relationship with food, and food is a party. Honestly, in my family, it's where we come together, we love each other, and everyone, when you come into my house, it's to the kitchen first. Now, I snack all day, every day, and I always have snacks with me. I've been known to be the snack coordinator, so I always have food with me at all times, and it's just because I don't like to go hungry. And personally, who does like to go hungry? You know,
are ready.
right? Nobody. That's why diets don't work. And the relationship with food it's become really hard, And there are a few key things that really help families come together and succeed in the food category and become healthier and it be a lifestyle and a lifelong lifestyle with food and a healthy, happy one. And where I'm really known for it in quite a few areas in which I wouldn't have anticipated that. And
Okay.
so I specialized in farm to table growing up. Well, not growing up, but in college. So I end up, growing pumpkins and all sorts of food with them. So to do that, it it really encourages the children to be part of it. We grow pumpkins and we get our hands dirty and they watch things grow. And as you mentioned that, you had sprouted seeds with your kids.
Right.
And it really allows for everyone to come together and be one. And the positive energy. If you watch the seeds grow, the kids can then say, "Hey, Mom, did you see it grow? Maybe we can eat it. How can we eat it? How can we work with it?" And then they can come together in the kitchen. And that's really, get their hands dirty and how do we pick the fruit, and from start to finish, from seed to digestion, where it's really, happy and fun. And so that's the big thing. So it's just easy ways to create fun. Pumpkins are a huge one, especially now since it's October. Well, almost.
Almost October, but it's
Almost.
still getting cold outside. I'm like, the weather's getting cooler, so it's getting to be fall.
Right.
And then everybody has pumpkins. I mean, they're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Watermelons were in the same basket. I
Mm-hmm.
came back to the store. I'm like, wait a minute, what happened to the watermelons? And it was like all these pumpkins everywhere. I'm like,
Right.
no, I still
Right.
want the watermelons. I live
Right.
in Texas. I'm like, can we get a few more? Just one more week. But I came to pumpkins, and I like to use. Speaking of pumpkins, I like to take the pumpkins, and get the seeds out, and then I
Mm-hmm.
let the kids wash them up. We get
Mm-hmm.
the colander, and we put the
Yep.
seeds in there, and we wash them, and they get to wash the seeds off, and then we put them
Mm-hmm.
out to dry.
Yeah.
And some of them we will take and we will put a little salt on them and put them in the
Mm-hmm.
oven and bake them. Some of
Mm-hmm.
them we take the markers and we color them and we create
Oh,
artwork with them.
yeah.
Some of them we tried planting them one time, but it's too late in the season
Mm-hmm.
it came up, but it didn't grow because of the frost and cold and all that. So,
Mm-hmm.
but they got to see they got to see the leaves come up. It did
Well,
not grow into a
right.
pumpkin, but
The
they got
circle
to
of
see it.
life.
Right. But we got to
Mm-hmm.
see the circle of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I like taking things like pumpkins, because there's
Mhm.
so much that we can do, and
Right.
carve them out and make pumpkin pie,
Mhm.
and make
Mhm.
uh, just pumpkin everything.
Pumpkin everything.
Pumpkin everything.
Right.
Uh,
Right. But there are other types of gourds too.
yes.
Yeah. Like for the fall, I made spaghetti squash yesterday.
I
And
love
it's a
spaghetti
huge
squash.
one that I really encourage. That is my favorite. So that's a big one. Now, I make it a bunch of different ways. I've made mac and cheese with it with the kids.
Really?
Mhm. Yeah, I'll send you the link for
Oh,
that.
okay. I've never
Mhm.
made mac and cheese with it. I made meatballs and marinara sauce to go on top of
Mhm.
it. And my kids thought, Mom, what kind of spaghetti is this? I said, oh, it's a new brand. Don't you just love it?
Now,
They had no clue. They were eating spaghetti squash.
right.
Because if I told them it was squash, the word squash is stuck in their head like,
Mhm.
ew.
Right.
So I didn't tell them. I just like, it's new spaghetti. I didn't know
It
spaghetti
right.
squash. I just left off a word.
That's funny, a new brand. Right.
Yes.
Well, yeah, a new brand. Yep. Now I use pesto and chicken, 3 ingredients. That's what I started with a few years ago, and then I just twist off of it. Just
Pesto,
3 ingredients. Pesto,
chicken.
chicken, and spaghetti squash.
Okay.
Yep.
I love pesto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Okay.
I found that kids actually really like that as well.
Okay.
Try
Okay.
it.
So how do you just put the pesto in the uh, uh you
You're
prepare the chicken first and
Yep.
then
So
the
what I'll do is the spaghetti squash. It's pretty big. It's rather large, so it'll take about an
Mhm.
hour to cook.
Right.
While it's in the oven, I have I dice the chicken and put a jar of pesto and marinate the chicken while the spaghetti squash is in the oven. Now, yep.
Oh.
So then, about 15 minutes before I take the spaghetti squash out, so it marinates maybe 35, 40 minutes while it's in the oven. So marinating in the refrigerator. And while that's, 40 minutes, that's it, 3 ingredients. And then before I take it out, before I take the spaghetti squash out, I take the marinated chicken that's in the pesto, and then I saute it. So by the time I take the spaghetti squash out of the oven, I then have the sauteed chicken that's in the pesto, and then I dump it all in the spaghetti squash when it comes out.
Oh, marinate the chicken in the pesto,
Mm-hmm.
and then right before you take it out, but the spaghetti squash out, you dump the chicken into the
Saute pan.
okay.
Yep, a different
And
pan. Yep,
okay,
because
so
the oven is the spaghetti squash is in the oven. Okay,
right.
and that's baking.
Okay.
Okay, then I take the chicken and pesto,
Mm-hmm.
the chicken and pesto marinade. I have a hot
Mm-hmm.
saute pan. Dump that in there. Takes about 15 minutes to saute, and then both are done at the same time. I fork the spaghetti squash out,
And put it
and
on top.
then yep, that's it. That's it.
Man, that's no cheese or anything on top.
No,
Just
I mean, if you have Parmesan, or sometimes I top it with tomatoes and Parmesan, but that's the basics, 3 ingredients.
and then just go from there and do whatever you want to do from there.
Yep, yep,
Well, basic recipes. That's what I used to
yep,
do with my grandmother's recipes. I
yep.
still do. I take her recipes and like, okay, I think a little vanilla bean will be good, right?
Yep,
In there and
yep.
put
I
that
learned
over there.
the basics of that maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and then I just kind of spin off of it. And I have about 20 spin offs.
Wow.
Yep. Sometimes I
So
add
do
grilled
you
chicken.
add grilled chicken?
Sometimes I'll use Alfredo sauce, grilled veggies, it just, whatever I have on hand.
Okay. Okay.
Whatever your kids like, honestly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see who's hello. Okay, we got a lot of people watching. Okay. Hello, Carrie and Jamila and Gloria. And hi, Anne Marie. and Jennifer and Yi Chang and Galen and Sarah. Hi, Sarah. And Lori. How are you all? Thanks for joining us tonight. Okay, so now I know you talked about the family being in the kitchen together. And I tried as much as I had a home daycare. And our rule was we had to feed family style meals. How important is it, to nutrition that the family sit down and eat together?
That is huge. For me, if I'm cooking, everyone knows at least what I'm cooking, and everyone comes to the kitchen within 15 minutes of me serving it. Now, I actually sit down with the family to eat, and everyone sits down. I require this upon interviewing because for me, that's what I'm hired for, to bring the family together, to be more close, increase the bond. And, for me, it's if you want to create closer bonds together, this is what it's built around: food and a healthier lifestyle. And I work with health and creating better bonds, lifelong, relationships. And so I have the children set the table. They do their own dishes even after. And
yes,
yep,
I love you. Yes,
I'm pretty upfront with the families and why they come to me knowing who I am. And if they want a better, bond with their children all throughout their life, this is what you need. You need to be present in the kitchen, working with the food and setting the table with the family. And phones are not allowed in the kitchen or in the family when I'm around, when we're working with food. We have music on. We're all dancing.
Oh, I love cooking and music. I'm just bopping around the kitchen.
Right.
I love that.
And,
yes.
The thing is you have to make it a fun environment, And at the beginning when I arrive, it's very fun. Like nothing too serious. I don't add spinach yet or it's something that I really take slow. I'll do a pizza I'll add even pineapples. I keep it fun. I do a taco night with adding beans and cilantro, where it's just using different types of tomatoes or picos or, different types of mango salsa and getting their flavors and their palates working, and having a taco party and adding friends and, and it's more of a fiesta and working with, parents in making the entire atmosphere within the kitchen and the dining room a party instead of pressure.
Right. We had a walking taco party.
Walking.
Well, it's instead of using the taco, you use the tortilla with the tortilla chips.
Oh,
instead of the tacos, same difference, but it's in a different shape, and it's in a little bag, and you put all your fixings in your little bag, and you walk around and you put this in your bag, and everybody loves it. So I love the walking taco party. But and it's fun, like you said, and it gets the kids to trying new things. And because I know some families that I have worked with, the kids sit at the table and they sit at the table and they sit at the table until you have to eat your food. And then there's some families I work with, oh, you don't want that? Let me get you something else. And I'm like, you're not teaching them to enjoy what they have. They just see it and say, no, I don't want that. And you readily go and grab something else.
Right. What it is, the lack of appreciation for what I put in front of you and the hard work I did and what your family worked for. And a lot of the world doesn't even have the plate that we have in front of us without even anything on it.
Right.
So that's something to really acknowledge in what I make, present. So that's the big thing, is that picky eaters, I noticed that the question was addressed. Picky eaters, there's a lot of them in the world, right? Everywhere. And a lot of it's being present. Being present where, as a nanny, even if you're only there a couple times a week, realize what the kids do like and then use those specific ingredients in fun ways. You know, put them up front in the ingredient list and then play with them. You know, don't push anything on them, but use them to your advantage. You know, say they like mangoes. Mangoes a high sugary fruit. Mangoes and bananas or blueberries. Put them all in a smoothie and play around with them. You know?
Good idea.
Right, but don't add spinach yet. And make sure you know which ways it can best be, you know, hidden. You know?
Oh, marinara sauce is a great way to add spinach. I've done it too many times.
Right, and that's the thing is don't add too much too fast.
Right.
Don't trick. I don't ever trick children or anyone. That's the thing is I don't ever lie. Now, like you said, you didn't lie, but you were not.
But I did omit.
You know, that's where I'm doing it for the best of their, you know, health. But it's also where if you have extremely picky eaters, you have to have role models and the parents and the nannies to make sure that you are being the role model that you want to be for the kids. If you want the kids to do that, it's important that you walk the walk and you're representing that as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I had a 2-year-old and mom cooked spinach and he didn't like the way it tasted. The texture. I didn't like it either. I didn't like the texture of it. And he wouldn't eat it.
You can't blame him.
So we got ready to make smoothies. And I said, what fruits and vegetables can we put in our smoothie? And so I said, we're going to start with some Greek yogurt. Right. And he said, bananas. I said, yes, bananas. I said, now how about something red? He said, strawberries. I said, yes, strawberries. And I said, let's look in here. And we're pulling drawers out. What is something green we can put in there? This. He didn't know it was spinach because he had never seen raw spinach. Right. He just said, this. I said, yes, we can put some of this in here. So we get to the blender. I said, let's put the bananas in. And I said, let's put the strawberries in. I said, let's put the yogurt in. I said, now let's put this in. And I said, you know what this is? He said, no. I said, that's spinach. He's like, ew. I said, I bet it will taste good in a smoothie with your bananas and your strawberries and your yogurt. I said, how about you help me put it in here just a little bit and then we'll try it. And then if we like it, we'll put some more. So he put some in there. I covered it up and I said, now hit the button. So he hits the button and he's like, oh, look at the colors. I said, yes. You see all those colors swirling around together? So then we take the top off. I said, let's get a spoon. I said, and let's try it. So he gets a spoon and he digs his hand all the way down to the bottom. Of course, it's all the way up his fingers. Right. And he's like, Gigi, this is good. I said, so should we add some more? I think we should add some more spinach. Yeah. And so he grabs a big handful and puts it off in there. I said, hold on, let me close it and let's hit the button. So he hit the button and he drank all of it. Right. So then the next time he wanted carrots. I said, oh Lord. I said, I don't know how these carrots are going to go over in this
perception of that food.
Right. I didn't say it to him. I just kind of thought in the back of my head, this was going to be awful crunchy, but he liked it. We had little baby carrots. So he put 2 or 3 in there, and I said, let's add a little water in there, just, to kind of put the carrots. But he added his yogurt. We had some bananas, and we had some grapes, and he threw them off in there. So he was, whatever mom put in, we just went in the refrigerator, and we grabbed what we thought would be good for smoothie, along with some yogurt. It had to have yogurt, because it has to, he said, it has to have my yogurt cream in it. Because his mom didn't like him to have ice cream. She said, well, you can have some yogurt cream. And so he had to have his, because he thought shakes and smoothies were made with ice cream. So we had his
That's
yogurt
pretty
cream.
common.
So, but that's how I got him to eat spinach
Mm-hmm.
and eat a lot of other vegetables was
Yep.
through a smoothie.
Mm-hmm.
And because he helped to make it,
I
and
was just gonna say, you gotta let them do it.
he made the decision of what we should put in the blender with his yogurt cream.
Yes.
And so we had all kinds of interesting smoothies.
Yep.
Um, so it was interesting, but I let him make it, and I let him have that good relationship with food,
Yep.
so that he
Yep.
would be afraid of it.
Yeah, and I use avocado in all of my smoothies. So that's how I
Oh
changed the
yeah.
perception of needing yogurt or a creaminess when I couldn't have dairy in it, you know?
Oh,
So even I use avocado for the creaminess and almost to replace most of the fats. So the creaminess, the fattiness, even in non-smoothie stuff like tuna, anything, like a salad sandwich, a chicken salad sandwich, or anything creaminess, I replace it with an avocado. So
okay.
all replaced with an avocado.
Well, I love what I like to call baby guacamole. I use bananas and avocado, and I
Mm.
mix it up. And when I tell you, they're like, eat
Yep.
it up. It is. I also suggest when moms want to know, okay, so what's the first food I should give them? I say, well, avocado has good oils,
Mm-hmm.
and it's bland, and it's good brain food.
And it starts
So
for them to like green things.
yes,
That's the big part, is that they don't
yes,
get afraid of green things, because your other child was instantly afraid of green, the spinach.
yes,
Where you
yes.
change the perception,
Right.
that's huge. Yep.
So how are some other ways that we can change the perception of this is yucky food? Green beans or peas. Peas is number one. Oh my gosh. I can't tell you how many kids have told me, I don't like those. So, how do we change the perception of peas
Now,
or
just
any other green vegetable?
yep, anything that the perception is, if you have an emotional connection with it, that was
Mm-hmm.
originally bad. Like we said, you're always going to have that emotional back off feeling towards it, right? So
Okay.
you want to change the way you feel towards it. And the way that I do that personally is I grow them. I grow the vegetable. And
Okay.
yep. So if you have spinach, if you have basil, anything green, they will feel that they get to participate in the growth. Everything, like everyone, no matter what the age is, loves to watch things grow. It's in our nature. No one can say, "Oh, I love to watch things die." Like no one likes to do that. No, no one,
No.
no one. Plants or like, oh, that doesn't feel like that feels great. No, that's not the case. Like everyone loves to watch plants grow, people grow, everything. So I start with little things, plants, flowers, and even basil and herb. Like you said, they love to actually pull off the basil in the spinach and be able to throw it in the pot of pasta. By
Yes.
you know, and I never critique. That's the big thing. Like even if it's not right, don't try not to critique and just pull out the stuff that, is, too much, or, that's the part where just try not to let them see it and
Hmm.
just party on with the kids and
Right.
encourage you did great. Go pluck 20 pieces of lettuce, or, even if they ruin the plant, they did great. It's working with always keeping a positive perception and energy with what they're doing. You know, even if they're in the kitchen and they're not exactly doing what you want them to do, step back and say, is this really that important, to the dish, or should I be more present with the children to, work work with them and play and put my hands in the food. That's really what is the most important thing, where greens, can they do the spinner of the greens to wash the
I
greens?
love that. The little
Yeah.
salad
Like,
center.
can they shake it?
Yes.
Can they, if you're even
Yes.
doing a thing of crescent rolls, can they undo the thing? Can they pop it? Now one time I had one explode on me and it scared me so. I am so nervous to open another one ever. But it's about getting them in the kitchen and getting them involved with anything, and that's where the whole perception changes. Having music on, having them have their own apron. And
That's a big thing too.
mhm,
That's a
yep,
big thing. We created mom an apron for Mother's Day because she has a collection of them, and I said, well, maybe because they like to cook, and they always put on their art smocks. I said
yeah,
maybe I should. So I got two small uh,
yep,
aprons, and it was
mhm,
just plain white canvas smock apron. And so I asked them, I said, we have some puffy paint. Well, what is puffy paint? And I showed them because we use puffy paint on their moms. I said, let me iron it out and I'll show you and you can feel it. So when I ironed it out and they felt the ridges in the puffy paint,
mhm,
oh, we want one. I thought you would. And I went, here you go. And
yeah,
so we made aprons, but
that's cool.
they and then it was like every time I went in the kitchen, okay, I got my apron on
Right,
because it makes them excited to go to the kitchen. It makes them
right,
excited to cook.
exactly.
And I have another question because
Mhm.
I didn't experiment with my kids,
Ooh, I love
uh,
them.
but um, Christina says, on my way home. Oh, hi. Christina always listens to me on her way home from work. She's out in California, so
Ooh,
my time and her time is like 2 hours different.
yeah.
But I we did a taste test. I don't even remember what we were making. But it was something with nutmeg, and I like to
Mm.
use the fresh nutmeg, the whole nut,
Oh, yeah.
and we had a grater and I held their hand. I said, now I need to hold your hands on this one
Mhm.
because I don't want your hands to slip and for you to cut your fingers. I'd rather
Oh,
my fingers get cut than yours. So we did we were grating the
yeah.
nutmeg and they was like, oh, that smells good. I said,
Right?
would you like to taste it? So they tasted it. They were like, it doesn't taste like it smells. I said, no. I said, but wait until it gets into the food. It
Mhm,
seasons the food and makes the food taste a whole lot better.
mhm,
So we did ginger. I said, now this is hot. And they're like, well,
mhm.
can we taste it? And I took off a
Oh,
little bit and it tastes, I said, just put it on your tongue and taste it. I said, because it may be too hot for you. And the oldest one, he just pops it in his mouth and starts chewing. He goes, ah! I said, yes,
learn
it's
your
hot.
lesson.
I said, when we combine it with the nutmeg and we put it in the
Mhm.
food, it's going to taste good. So they
Right,
were like, it's too hot. I said, that's why we only put a little bit in a big
right,
pot. So it gives it flavor, but it doesn't make it too hot.
right.
So we were learning about flavors and we
The
did the
flavor
cinnamon
palette, right.
sticks and so they were learning about the smells of things. And
Mhm.
so I was like, okay, so while I was cooking, I went and got a lime, I went and got lemon, I
Yep,
went and got some other things out of the refrigerator, and I just kind of cut them open. And I said,
yeah.
I said, is it bitter or is it
I was just
sweet?
gonna say, yep, that's how I
And
learned.
is it sour?
What
Is it
does it
sweet? What does
mean?
it taste like?
Is it
And I
flat?
got to
Is
eat
it
some
yeah.
green peppers and in
Mhm.
the texture and it was all about experimenting with food.
Right.
And that's what I always tell people when I'm cooking.
Mhm.
Experiment in your kitchen. You never know what it's going to taste like until
Trial
you
and error.
experiment. Try
Yeah.
it. And I always try it. I'm like, okay, that needs a little bit more
Mm,
salt. That needs a little bit more this,
right.
a little bit of that.
A little more sweet, a little more, it's
Yes,
missing a little something. And
right.
that's what I do, and that's how I learned how to cook, is that my dad would put things in and say, Crystal, can you guess the ingredient? Can you
Oh,
guess
that's a
it?
good.
And we were always very playful growing up. And he would add, chocolate to the chili or chili powder to something else. And all three of us, my siblings and I, would be in the kitchen and he'd say, all right, who can guess it? Whoever can guess it will get the first bite. And what does it need? And we'd all be very playful in the kitchen. And now all of us have something to do with cooking as our career. So,
Wow.
so that's the thing is that we really all love to be connected with food and work with food. And that's what I do with the children, just like you said. Is it sour? Is it flat? Is it, but it requires for everyone to be in the kitchen. Does the mom like it? And that's the part of being engaged and present.
Exactly. Okay, we have some new people that came and joined us. Hello, Diamond. How are you? And of course, Miss Christina, how are you? Hey, hello, Kate Swanson. And hi, Rocky. How are you? All of my friends are coming to join me tonight. Yay! Okay. Oh, hi, Marilyn. Hi, Brittany. And Shaniqua and Janet, and or maybe that's Jeanette. Okay. Janet, Jeanette. Hi, Lori. How are you? I think we got everybody. Okay, so now give us a few snack ideas. All the kids, well, I won't say all the kids. Some of the kids are not in school. Some of them are in school. Depends on where you are in America.
Right.
As to whether you're in school or not in school. But either way, after school or during the breaks of class or virtual learning, everybody wants a snack. Nobody wants the same. I don't want crackers. I don't want gold. I don't want. What are some ways that we can spice up the snacks so it can be the same thing but not really the same thing?
Right.
Switch it up.
Yeah. Now, this is what I do. I end up making, have you ever heard of energy balls? Energy nutrition balls?
Yes.
Now, they're kind of like dessert-like, and they're pretty sweet. So what I do is I end up making them. They have quite a bit of it, you can play around with them. Some of them have coconut. Now, coconut, peanut butter. The binding ingredient is honey. You can put flaxseed in them, chia seeds, and you literally mush them up into a ball. You can even put them in the freezer. They're no bakes. They're like clean no bakes. So I also do, when I do that, I make frozen bananas. Just on a popsicle stick, I cut the bananas and dip them in chocolate. Some I dip in peanut butter. Some I dip in, yogurt with a little chocolate chip. So this is where I make sure to have a bunch of ingredients and snacks already prepared for the week. Because for me, I get bored with the same thing every day. So that why wouldn't they? We have to anticipate that they will too, And I personally like to have fun and be playful with it. So say they're playing outside, you can just grab 2 bananas on a popsicle and bring them outside. You have to make it easy for you to succeed. So that's the big thing.
That's the big thing.
Yeah. The other one that I really like is a yogurt peanut butter dip. Now, so Greek yogurt, make sure it doesn't have too much sugar because almost all the yogurt nowadays has a lot of sugar, like 20 plus grams of sugar. And the average, as an adult woman, we shouldn't go over 24 grams of sugar per day. So imagine a child. Right.
I can't guarantee my cup of coffee does not have that much in it.
I know. And I'm very, attentive to my sugar levels. And one thing of yogurt can do that.
Right.
So try to get just a Greek yogurt, even the individual things, and split it in half. Add a spoonful of peanut butter, stir it around, add some honey, and add some cinnamon. Stir it around, and that you can literally top it back with the, you can, the peel back.
Right.
Yeah. So then
Putting
you
it back on
put
there.
it back on. You can just literally put it back on. And you can use that or tin foil, a new tin foil. And with cut apples or a banana and bring it outside. It's very easy, and everyone I've ever shown it to or, made it for loves it.
Yogurt, peanut butter, honey.
Cinnamon.
And what else?
Honey.
Yogurt, peanut butter, and honey.
Cinnamon and honey.
And cinnamon and honey. Yogurt,
Yep.
peanut butter, cinnamon, and honey.
Cinnamon and honey.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's something that you have to set yourself up for success, and all the ingredients are pretty simple. But if you don't have them there, you're going to go for chips or you're going to go for just grapes or, I will also make a, kind of like a spin-off of a charcuterie board, but make it a rainbow, where if you already have, strawberries and bananas and grapes, sometimes I'll cut up cheese and put crackers on it and make it a rainbow, and you already have a bunch of the stuff prepped or cut in the fridge, which is pretty helpful, and for me, I do not want to make more work or be already, running around when I'm trying to teach the children. So 5 minutes before their class ends or I'm done teaching, I'll say, okay, please finish up. I'm going to prepare the snack, and I'll just pull everything out, put a little of everything on the board, and that's that. It's all about preparation though, because 10 minutes beforehand or even an hour, at the beginning of the week can change the entire dynamic.
Yes, it can. You just go in there, grab and give. That's
man, it's everything.
Oh, it eliminates meltdowns and temper tantrums and hangry.
My hangry, you don't want to even see.
And that's right. You don't hangry, and then it's at that point in time in the afternoon where everybody needs a nap, but you don't want them to take a nap because bedtime is like 3 or 4 hours away. And if you take a nap, that's going to ruin everything.
Exactly.
And you need that just little bit of energy to get them over. I have used blueberries. I put what is it? I take what is that? Is it chia seeds?
Chia seeds?
And I put it in some yogurt and I wait on it to expand. And then I'll add cut up some fruit in there and sprinkle a little granola in there. Here you go, energy. And it's just enough. I don't put a lot of chia seeds in there because too many, and you got them going bing, 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 bing. You just need a little bit to, kind of a little dot here, dot there, just enough.
Ground flaxseed will really help.
I like
slow down the sugar high. It'll slow down your sugar high.
Okay, flax seeds.
But you make sure it's actually ground flaxseed and not the whole flaxseed.
Okay, I have some flaxseed. I have the what is it? Flaxseed meal or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, but I just it's just enough to give them that little bit of burst of energy.
Prevent hangry.
It ties them over until dinner. It gets them through the hangry part of the day. It gets them through that. Sleepy.
It really prevents your insanity from going overboard. That's really what it does.
Yes. Say it again for the people in the back.
I posted the other day on my stuff that it was like, okay, every morning I wake up and say, how can I have the happiest day? Because if I have the happiest day, I promise you the family will be the happiest. Because if I do what I really want to do, I will give and give and give and give. But if I'm chasing my tail all day, it's just, I don't like it.
I don't either.
I don't like it. It's just not good.
And I've learned to always have a backup plan.
Man, I got like 5.
Yes, always have a backup plan because you're like, okay, well, they have this at the house, they have that at the house,
Mhm.
and you come back and somebody ate it the night before.
Right.
Man, I was getting ready to use that to put some kids in the.
Right.
So have a backup plan.
Yeah.
Put you a backup plan.
I always have pistachios, nuts, berries, clementines, oranges. I always have backups and backups and backups because I am not getting caught red-handed.
Right.
No.
Now, before we end, I want to ask you about the snacks like the potato chips and the candy bars and all that. I like to keep that up on the top shelf in a bin, turned around backwards so nobody can see what it is.
Nobody or you?
The kids
So,
mainly. I know it's up there, but I because the kids stand yay hot, they can't reach up there, and
okay.
they can't get to it with the little small step stool.
Right.
But I know it's up there,
Right.
and but I don't want them to readily see it, and that's the first thing they go for.
That is
I want to have.
right.
So, what are
So
your thoughts?
now, no matter what the age, now that is key. Now putting the bad things at the top and out of sight, out of mind. That's key for no matter what age. Parents,
Me
nannies,
too.
me too. I mean, like I will demolish a bag of chips. I'm the chip monster. But here's the key: is that if vegetables are out of sight, out of mind, and in the vegetable drawer, I won't use them. Like I don't even use my vegetable drawers because my fridge is not. It's not a good fridge as far as organized properly and structured. So I make sure to put the cheese where I can't see it or the things that are not as good for me out of sight. And where I can see are the vegetables, the fruit where it's already cut up. And just for the kids too, I make sure that the kids can reach the cut cucumbers, the cut broccoli, or the things that I want them to eat. I make sure they can reach it
Okay.
and easily grab it and eat it without me. If I want them to succeed, if I want anyone to succeed without me, I need to make sure they see it, they can grab it and do anything without me, whether it be the parents, a boyfriend, a husband, whatever it may be.
Whatever the case may be.
Whatever it may be, if I don't want to be bothered and I want them to succeed, I need to make sure to hide the stuff that I don't want and make it flashy and accessible to the things that I do want for them to eat. That's the key.
So do you put it like on a little fancy tray and make it in the little rainbow so when they go in there looking for it, it's like, oh, what's
Oh,
that?
what's
And they
that?
go and
Yeah,
it
sometimes
makes
I even put like a joke on it or like a smiley face or, like a star thingy behind it because it's like, what's that? You have to intrigue their 7-year-old brain. Think about it. What would intrigue your 7-year-old brain? And that's
Mhm.
the key because I know I'm still 7-year-old Crystal. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to eat that unless it's really tasty. So does it have cheese on it? Is it on a kebab? Because anything's on a kebab or a taco or movable. Can I eat it on the go? I'm
Yes.
on it. Is it colorful? Is it tasty? Things like that I'll eat. But it has to be user friendly. You have to set yourself up for success. That's the key. So I would say put the things out of sight, out of mind that you shouldn't be eating and the ones that you do want to eat in front of your view and make it hard for the others to get to. Not just the kids, but everyone.
I wonder if that works for husbands.
Oh, for sure it does. I promise it does. Like, sometimes they can put like things in front of it, like, what in the world?
But he's taller than me, so he can reach up there and grab
Oh,
everything.
so you have
I
to
still
use
have
it
to use
to
a
his
step
advantage and
stool.
you put it like in a crevice below where he would never look. You have to know your opponent.
You're giving me ideas now.
Well, I hope that I am, and it's all about knowing who you're trying to set up for success.
Yes.
Who are
Yeah.
you working with?
I'm working on uh getting better snacks in the house because he likes eating popcorn. He likes the white cheddar popcorn. I like the caramel and cheddar popcorn. That
Now,
is our weakness.
the
And
weakness.
so I will get it in a small bag. And so, okay, this is my treat. And I look at it and I'm like, okay, so I have to decide when I want that treat. And I'm like, okay, I'll wait until after dinner when I'm sitting down and I'm watching TV. And that way I don't get the big endless bottom and I'm steady going
That
like this. And I
language.
get the portion size. And
Mhm.
that's one thing that has saved me is doing portion size because I'll get the portion size and I'm like,
Yeah, the
look
portions
how
I don't
left
even
in
like
here. It's
that.
all
I just
gone.
know.
And so if
Yeah.
it's all gone, it's all gone. And my brain will say, okay, it's all gone. But if I still look down in that bag and it's still half a bag down in there, uh,
I'll
even if
finish that
I'm
then.
full, I'm still going to be eating it because it just tastes so good. It's so tempting.
Right. See, I make
So,
all my popcorn from scratch.
ooh.
Yeah.
You
So
use
that's
air
the thing.
popper or you use
Oh,
old
no.
fashioned on the
Old
stove?
fashioned. I
Oh,
do it with
wow.
the kids. I do it. Yeah. Yep. So that's the thing is it's being more present with your food. It's watching how it changes. And actually, the way popcorn pops is that the inside water bubble within the popcorn, the actual corn, explodes, and that's how it pops.
Oh,
Mhm. So
okay.
try your homemade popcorn with your husband. Be more present with your food.
Okay.
Hmm.
We're going
Now,
to try
I make a homemade caramel, but that's pretty extreme.
We'll try it. I'm not going to guarantee you anything. If it doesn't taste like cheese, he's going to look at me like
Well, no, you get there's like sprinkle cheese
the
over
little
it.
sprinkled stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Okay.
gotta yourself up for success and see what works through trial and
Okay. Okay. So if I pop a certain amount and give him those little cheese sprinkles,
error.
hopefully he'll eat less.
Yeah. I'll make popcorn tonight and I'll do the video and tag you.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
That works because there is no popcorn here that is not already popped in a
Yeah.
bag,
Oh,
ready to
you
eat.
don't even use the microwave
I
kind? Oh,
haven't used I have not used microwave popcorn since Orville Redenbacher stopped using he had this popcorn, cheddar popcorn, and he used to pop the popcorn and you sprinkle the little cheddar packet over the top. Oh my god. And I don't know if you know how long ago that's been, but I
I
haven't seen
don't.
it in years. So yeah,
I
that's not
don't know. I usually do. I have backup microwave popcorn if I do become desperate, but I always have like a huge thing of popcorn.
regular popcorn. Okay, but I need to start getting my cast iron skillet out of there and
Put that shake on.
get my shake on, get my
Yep.
exercise on while I'm doing my
Oh,
popcorn.
serious.
Okay. Okay. So do you have any, let's see, we got about 7 minutes. Do you have any tips and tricks and things, just some fun ideas for us to do with kids and food, other than what you've already told us about getting in the kitchen with the whole family jamming out and making food?
Yep. The biggest thing is, like I said, be there, be present, have a fiesta and have a party. And, that's the thing where it's just trial and error. That's the biggest thing. And don't be afraid now I don't ever want to say waste food, but
Hmm.
learning about what you do like, it is sometimes about making mistakes and saying, okay, well, that doesn't taste good. Maybe I'll try something new tomorrow and not forcing it because it's more about making sure that it's fun. That's all. Like, oh, and not making it a problem that you made a mistake or it doesn't taste good. Like, that's the biggest problem with the food perception nowadays because if you try something and it's wasted, try to only use half of a batch, half of the food that you're cooking so that it doesn't all go wasted.
Right.
Where really try to have fun with it and don't share it with the children that, it's wasted and it's problematic, and have a positive energy towards it, where a lot of the times it's like, well, we can't spend money on the food and then ruin it. And that's where have fun with it, engage and be playful and throw the pasta against the wall. That's really the biggest.
Okay. I'm gonna have to put up a big something on the wall so they can throw it against the wall.
No,
No.
no.
So, so how do you clean the pasta off the wall?
Pull it off. Okay, I guess I should be more detailed. You pull one or two noodles. Everyone takes a noodle and you throw it against the wall.
Okay, so you pull out the noodles and you throw it against the wall. And if it sticks, it's done. If it doesn't, okay.
If it falls off, it's not done. It's too bony still.
Okay.
If it sticks, it's done. And that's the point where they know that that's how you start to learn to enjoy food. And meatloaf's the big one too. Get your hands dirty.
Oh yeah, I love meatloaf.
Yeah, and working with dough that's a big one. Working with
I love baking bread too.
Yeah.
You're calling out all of my favorites.
Exactly. And that's the thing is make sure that, zucchini bread, have them, shred the zucchini. Make only when, it's really, really long, so they don't smash their finger.
Right.
But that's the point, is that just getting them in the kitchen. And I've worked with a lot of kids, with sensory processing disorder, and it's never been an issue where they didn't want to come to the kitchen with me. It's just being present and having fun instead of making it a really fast pace, we got to eat and all of that. It's making it playful and not too much about you have to eat this and you have to eat that. It's more about coming together and being fun and having a party.
Exactly. I know one thing that has helped me with kids is I don't make it I don't put big portions on their plates first.
Yes. Yep.
And because that can be overwhelming. Yep. I get child size instead of the big adult plates, I'll get a saucer. Mm-hmm. It depends on the set of dishes it is, but I'll get the big huge plates usually have it looks like a child size plate as a saucer. Yep. And I will use that as the child's plate and put little pieces on there, little portions on there. And then if possible, like last week I made a snack and it looked like Elmo.
Oh yes. Yep.
So things like that, food art.
Yep.
And
creating colors, playing with faces.
Yes.
Being playful. That's key, and not rushing around, and the little things do matter.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That helps. And I don't make them eat. I just sit down at the table with them and we talk about whatever was going on at school or whatever was happening during the day and our plans for the next, what are we going to do next after we finish eating. And I'm steady eating as I'm talking to them, and they're laughing and joking and eating and before I know it, the no thank you bite that I like for them to take, they'll take that bite and then they'll decide they don't like it and they'll keep eating and then they'll try it again. Mm-hmm. So as long as I don't put pressure on them to eat it, they will try. They're more readily to try it than me saying, okay, you have to take a no thank you bite.
Yeah. And that's taking the pressure off of it. That's a big key. Taking the pressure off of it, taking the big you have to do it. And then it's like, well, if you tell me I have to do it, I don't want to do it.
Exactly.
I want to do it on my own time, on my own way, with my own flair. And that's where I give them the opportunity and the choice to make it on their own. And if they don't like it, that's okay. I'll put it on their plate again. Right. in not putting too much emphasis on they have to do it, because no one likes to have, be told what they have to do, rather giving them the opportunity to thrive on their own, in being mindful and just having a fun discussion in chat when the food is on their plate.
Right. I want to go back to something that you said earlier about the pesto and the spaghetti squash, and
Yeah.
that you had all these different ways to prepare it.
Yeah.
Sometimes kids don't like food because of the way it's prepared, and it may have a too strong of a flavor to it.
Yeah.
But if you add it to something else, they may eat it. I
Right.
make cornbread with broccoli and cheese in it, and the kids eat it up.
Yep.
And they love it. And I make it in little mini muffins. And because it's like, this is just the right size for me to take 2 or 3 bites, and it's done.
It's personalized.
But I use the riced broccoli. And I just mix it up in there, and I bake it inside of there. And when I do that, I usually use some cream of chicken soup, the cornbread, because it gives it a different flavor.
And probably the texture is a little less grainy.
Yes. And it's softer than it. That I don't like hard vegetables. I just don't. Salads, I can do that. I don't have a problem with the crunch in the salad, but broccoli, cauliflower, all that, I just don't like that hard. Ugh. And it may be because I have trouble with my gums, and it hurts when I chew. But I like the softer. And when they came out with those rice vegetables, I said, "Oh, y'all, oh, yes, me, yes."
That's you can put them in a lot of things.
Yes.
You can even put them in, eggs, like egg muffins for the morning. I've found that they work really well with parents.
Cool. So trying foods different ways.
Yep. Different methods of transport, I guess.
Right.
Delivery.
It's the delivery. Because you may not. I hated squash. Oh my gosh, I hated it. I hated zucchini and I hated yellow squash. I hated it. But it was the way my mom always cooked it.
Oh, yep.
When I got older and I went to someone's house and I'm sitting here eating it, and it was chopped up and it had this seasoning on it, and I'm just eating it, and I didn't know what I was eating, and I was just eating it, and it was like like a party, and I was like, "Oh, that one was good. Let me go try that again." And then I finally found the host and asked what it was, and she tells me, and my brain goes, "Ew!" But my stomach was like, "But that tasted good. What you gooing about?" So it's all in the delivery.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you don't know what you're eating, you'll find it more enjoyable because of the stereotype that you have in your brain.
The perception that was initially there. It's changing the perception that you have with it.
Yes. So,
yes.
So that has a lot to do with it. But yeah, food. I love my relationship with food because now I know how to experiment with it. I know how to dress it up, dress it down, and I like using fresh herbs and spices with it.
That's huge.
And it doesn't have to be the same all the time. This time I add garlic. Next time I add some little smoke seasoning. This time every time it can be different and depends on the recipe and what you're serving it with as to what flavors I add to it. And my husband was like, "Didn't you make this last week?" No. It looked the same. I said, "Taste it." "Wait a minute, this don't taste like the one you made last week."
Right.
I said, "Because that's not the same thing."
Delivery.
Yes, different delivery, and it tastes different, and it puts another. It cultivates your palate more.
Yeah.
So
it's a different exploration. A different playful. It takes you to a different place.
Yes.
That's what it is.
And I learned more because I worked with a family that was Indian and German. So I learned different flavors, and she would give me the iPad and tell me to fix this, and I'm like, okay. And it was in liters, and now here I go. Okay, pull out my Dr. Google. How do I convert this back to? And it was things I had never heard of. She said, "Go to Whole Foods; they have it there. This is what
Mm-hmm.
it looks like." I was like, "I'm sure. I'm glad you're giving me pictures because I have no clue what you're talking about,
Yeah, I
and
looked
I
for.
get the wrong thing."
Yeah.
And they had some, what is it, bolognese sauce?
Oh yeah, but
I couldn't
it's so
stand it.
funny.
I made it according to the recipe, and I was like, ugh. So was in charge of cooking, so I just kind of doctored it up. And she said, "This is the best bolognese sauce I've ever tasted." I'm like,
What a little
"Okay, thank you."
flavor into it, you know?
I was like, "Well, I didn't exactly follow the recipe."
We don't follow recipes, so that's okay.
Yeah. So she said, "What did you do to it? What did you put in it?" So what I told her,
Oh,
she started making it like that ever since then. She said, "I like it, but I like this better." So I was like, because to me, I was like, "Ew, how are y'all
that is
eating
not
this?"
good.
So, a couple, a few extra spices livened it up.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's all about what you put in it or what you leave out of it
Mm-hmm.
to that attracts kids to it. And
Well,
sometimes if their palates are not as cultivated as yours,
mm-hmm.
they're not gonna like all those bold
Well, you
flavors.
have to be playful with it.
Yes,
Playful with the recipe. That's key.
yes.
Yep. Yep.
So thank you
Yes.
for coming on and
Yeah,
sharing
thank you.
the playfulness of food.
Yeah, that's huge. And everything, honestly. Being present in the kitchen and playing with it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And music that you love helps a lot
Yeah. Yep.
because it lifts your spirits
Mm-hmm.
and it actually changes the perception in your
Yep.
brain, even if you mess it up.
You
Oh, it
connect
don't
it
taste
with
that bad.
happiness.
Let me just add a little of this, add a little of that. And you
Mm-hmm.
have created a whole new recipe.
Yep. Absolutely.
So
Yes.
hold on, let me see who's I have any other people that came in. Hi, Crystal. How are you? And Tracy, thanks for joining us. Now, next week, join us right here, same time, same place, and we're going to continue our Coronials series. We're almost done. I promise. We got like 3 more weeks, and we'll be done with the Coronials. Because by then they're going to start showing up, and you will have had your lessons from all the gurus that I can find to help, you know, give you all some tips. So when you go into those babies and start working with those families, you'll be on point.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you again for joining us, and thank you for sharing your tips and your tricks and your nutrition facts and things with us. And ladies and gentlemen, those picky eaters, try giving it to them a different way.
Yes.
The
Play with
delivery,
everything.
it's all in the delivery. So maybe
Yeah.
try your delivery different. So try that. And you all have a great rest of the week. It is still not too late to sign up for the U.S. Nanny Association conference. It's going on until the 25th. We have over 40 phenomenal speakers. One was just added on Saturday. Um, so if you haven't signed up for it, please go to usnanny.org/conference. There's over 40 speakers, and um, with each seminar, you get a certificate to go in your portfolio. There. And they are excellent speakers. I'm hearing from my committee because I got to watch most of them before the conference, and I also participated in some. But I'm hearing from my committee. Oh, I like this one. Oh, I like that one. Oh, no, I didn't like that one. Okay. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
did you watch this one? Yet? So I am sitting in the background just smiling away because I know they are honest with me and they will tell me which ones were good, which ones were
Mm-hmm.
bad, which one was like, I didn't like that one. It was okay, but it's not what I'm dealing with. And sometimes your perception, again, on what age your group you're with and what you're dealing with has to do with what you want to watch. But
Exactly.
we have something for everyone. It's for parents and for nannies Everybody has something in there. So sign up at usnanny.org/conference. And as soon as the screen comes up, there's a little button over there on the little left hand side that says register. Just hit the tab and boom, you're there. So now, thank you again, Crystal. And we will see you all next week, same time, same place. You all have a good week now.
Thanks, everyone.